Can we start to talk about some solutions to all of this? Not a lot of that content is being pushed out. I think it's because people are really shocked by how insane it all is. Before I get into the solutions, I want to talk about the ominous they that is the cause of these problems. And it's not this guy. If you think one man is the cause of all of this mess, you need to stop watching Star Wars and open a history book. The reason why you work so hard and you're still poor and miserable is not because of him, it's not because of them, and it's not because of them. It is a system of power distribution that rewards the greediest, most narcissistic, and parasitic people that are in it for their own gain. And they exploit all of us for our time, our attention, our money, and our labor. Now, if you know about all of that, you can go skip to my solutions here. But if you need a little bit more context, please stick around for this. These are the 5 things that they use to get us to comply. First one, easiest trick in the book, divide and conquer. Every time you get rage baited by racism, gender infighting, and left-right politics, you are playing right into their hands. And it can very much lead to this. The US has the highest GDP of any country in the world, and yet it has some of the loneliest, most depressed, most anxious, lowest testosterone, least fulfilled people, some of them in the world. I'm not saying this was by design. There are a million causes to this. But what I am saying is that it doesn't take a fucking rocket surgeon to realize that it's very easy to manipulate people who are vulnerable and lack purpose and connection. And one thing Americans love to do is treat the symptom and not the cause. What we tend to do in our society is teach people how to cope with addictions. These are the addictions that almost everybody has to deal with. If not one, several at once. 4th one is this. Did you know that these used to be illegal? What happened? Well, in the 80s, some economists decided to boof battery acid, and they had the idea that if they get to convince Americans that at least they'll save some money and they get a cut of the paycheck, they can rewrite the rules and make sure they're not being enforced. And we'd let it happen because at least we have cheap gas. And that really matters to some people because this is what they're really after. The hope that one day they're going to be the rich guy. They're going to have all the money to solve all of their problems. This is the thing that gets us to defend the whole system because we believe we're going to benefit from us. It has us looking up to people like this because they're cool and edgy and rich. It has us defending the system that gives us this because we feel like, well, this is a fair trade-off to this. Now, in reality, most people don't know that this is what's happening, but the fact that we all choose to look away from it because we're so addicted to this. So here are your solutions. Simple, not easy. Realize that in human history, empires will go through cycles, and there are 3 stages. You have innovation, you have stability, and then you have collapse. Guess what stage we're at? Now, the reason why this is inevitable is because when you have stability, people start to relax. They get lazy, arrogant, and stupid because they're not fighting wars, they're not starving, they decide that they can enjoy life. But a result of that is they kind of lose touch of what it takes to be scrappy. We're in the collapse stage right now, but it is not the end of the world. It's the end of an old system, not the end of the world. Do not give in to despair. There are a lot of amazing people out there doing some incredible work. What we need to do is remove their claws from the steering wheel and make sure that they don't lull us back to sleep or frighten us into our pens. This is very doable. In fact, you can take the fact that they are doing increasingly insane things as a sign that they are tightening their grip because they're losing control. The reason why this state is getting fucked right now is because of this. They need to distract us from what's happening. The proof of who they really are. The reason why this is such a big deal is because it is proof that they are all friends. They get to go to a little evil island and do evil things and party it out and have fun with each other. And then they get to go on camera and pretend that they're enemies. That way, we have to pick a side. Division. Remember, this is how they get us to comply. If we want to resist, we have to do the opposite of these things. This is where we put our resistance. The common factor of all of these things is community. This is what they need to survive. It needs our labor for money, it needs our attention for ad revenue, and it needs our time so that we're so exhausted that we don't have the energy to resist. If we take away our money and our attention, it dies. Now, obviously, that's easier said than done. It's not realistic for most people to do this. But I think that's because people don't know that's what we need to do. I have designed it so that we are entirely reliant upon the current system. But if we are to remove our money and attention or reduce en masse the flow of our money and attention towards their sources and create our own with our own local networks and our own local businesses, you choke them out. Choke a bitch out. This means attention to content creators, not brands who are hiring them. This means giving your money to local businesses instead of getting everything from here because of convenience. Communication networks. Do you know who your neighbor is? Do you know who the local business owners are within a 10-mile radius of you so that you can get your materials from other places? Joining mutual aid networks can help the most vulnerable people in our community right now that really need our protection. To develop different apps so that we can communicate with each other without having our videos suppressed. We need apps that allow us to find local businesses and organize how we can, where we can spend our money instead. We're building data centers right now so that this can happen. If we wait for these to be fully entrenched, if we do not create our own communities and divert our money and attention elsewhere, we will not be able to mobilize and organize in this way, because people who will resist will be tagged and sorted and dealt with accordingly. I don't know what dealt with means yet, but trust me when I say it's in the fucking works. So this brings me to the most important thing on the way that you can resist. For most people, the community stuff that I just talked about is too tall of an order. Because most people are numb, dissociated, and addicted. They can't take care of themselves, let alone help people in their community. So for most people, this is self-empowerment is where you need to start. How you can sustain yourself, stop hurting yourself through toxic, addictive practices, protecting your mind from loops of despair and self-hatred. I say all of these solutions with confidence because that is the work that I've been doing the last few years. For 30 years of my life, I was numb and chronically sick and addicted. Getting through my day was about as much work that I could put towards anything. But I did my shadow work. I did journaling. I cried. I did therapy. I meditated. I took walks. I asked for help. Read books on healing. It's possible. And through that time that I invested, I now have so much time to actually help other people because I'm no longer living in some fugue state where I don't know who I am or how I can be a happy, healthy, fulfilled person here. So I'm telling you, that can be you. But you have to be the one to do it. Before we can help each other, we have to help ourselves. We have to want to help ourselves. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, but that work is so worth it to see yourself become a motherfucking hero. who gets shit done, who can finally do the things that they've always wanted to do, who gets to create a world that they believed in their whole life as kids. That world is out there waiting for us, but we have to fight for it. I'm sorry to tell you, but there's no Gandalf coming to take this on and deal with this for us. We got to do it ourselves. This is you. This is me. This is everyone. We all have to resist temptation. The temptation of convenience instead of the slow and awkward and rejection-fueled practices of building a community.
There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo. And it's worth fighting for.